Well, that was the other thing in my act about Texas, and it's a true story. It's a true fact. There's more tigers in captivity in Texas.
That's what it was.
than
Tiger
wild
World.
collection.
Tiger World.
Yeah, that's
a
it.
big oil guy, right? He
Yes.
wanted more tigers than the other guy.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Because there's more tigers in people's yards in Texas than in the entire wild of the world. More tigers in private collections in people's yards.
And it's true, and that's true.
Oh, it's 100% true.
And
I've been to some of these places. I've been to some of these crazy ranches that they have. Like, Texas wildlife laws are very different than anywhere else I've ever been to. And the people who own the property own all the animals. It's different than like wildlife in any other. Like, let's say if you live in Montana and you own a ranch in Montana, you can get landowner tags for that ranch. That means say if you own like 6,000 acres in Montana, you and your friends and some family members, you could get a license to hunt on that property. But you're only allowed to hunt a certain amount of animals. There's a certain season. It's like very specific. It starts at one time. It ends at one time. And, you go to jail if you violate those things. In Texas, as long as the animal's not from Texas, you own it. So like zebras, lions, tigers, there's fucking stray kangaroos. Like kangaroos get out. My wife saw a fucking zebra. She was driving, and she's like, I saw a zebra. There was a zebra on the side of the road. Somebody had a zebra, and it just got out.
But what if it's a zebra from Texas?
I don't think it is.
But
I think it's probably born in Texas.
Not that zebra. I mean, in general. You're saying you can own the land, and then you own the animals.
As long
if
as the
they're
animal's
not
from another country.
Why, though? Why?
Doesn't make any sense. It's not even just.
Why?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that it doesn't even make sense because they're not even exotic animals. Like, for instance, elk. Like, elk hunting in most of the country is like it's a difficult tag to acquire. It's a very prized hunt because it's delicious meat, and so it's very specific with the regulations. In Texas, you can hunt elk 365 days a year, and you own the elk because the elk were brought into Texas, even though they used to be in Texas. So they were in Texas, and then in the 1800s, they wiped them out. And then when they reintroduced them, they said, well, you ain't from around here.
Oh, my
so
God.
we own you.
That's a loophole.
It's a loophole.
A giant elk loophole in Texas.
You can do that with some animals. You can't do it with eagles. Like if you started hunting American eagles here in Texas, then people would crack down like, hey, enough. Enough, Texas. Settle down. Oh, we own these fucking eagles.
We own these eagles.
No historical record of eagles in these here parts. It's a weird place. So because of that, there really is more tigers in people's yards than anywhere else in the world.
That's just mind-boggling to me. Like, there's something. I wonder how the tigers feel about that.
They're not happy.
They must be like, this is wrong.
Unless
this is wrong.
There's some wild tycoon out there that's got like a crazy setup where he lets a goat loose, and the tiger gets to chase the goat and eat it and kill it.
Just for the hell of it.
Well, because that's what tigers do.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're gonna either it's that or you kill the meat and then you bring it to the tiger, which is not as fun for him. Like, you'd really rather kill it himself. That's what they like to do.
But if you bring the animals here, then you can own them.
Yes.
Like, you could bring, how small can you go? Can you go crickets? Can you bring crickets? Bring worms in? I own these worms because they're from Spain.
Yeah, you
like
could.
That.
But I think that would be an invasive animal. Like, you wouldn't be able to control it. There is problems with like bugs and things that come from and even plants that come from other parts of the world that don't have natural predators, and they just run over everybody else and take over an ecosystem.
Do you have any animals that you own that you've brought in from other countries? Because I'm really here I'm representing the authorities.
No, I only have a golden retriever.
Is he from the United States?
He appears to be.
Yeah, he appears to be.
I cannot confirm nor deny, but I did get him in California when he was 6 weeks old, so pretty sure he's from here. But, that's literally like the opposite of a tiger. Golden retriever, they're just like big love sponges. Yeah. But it's very interesting, like the laws here when it comes to wildlife. Also, most of the land here is private, which is interesting too. Like, California has a lot of public land, and there's public land that people go hiking on, hunting on, fishing on, and same thing with like New York State and a lot of states. Not Texas. Texas is very little public land, like a tiny swath of it where we can go hunting on.